TK, it's Doug the neighbor. I'm back from my trip. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing better now since I didn't get any calls from the police or the hospitals of El Paso. But then I thought, well, there's a lot of land between Austin and El Paso, so he could be on the roadside, he could be, and who knows? But you're back. You're safe. It looks like you got 10 fingers, 10 toes.
Yes, I
So,
do. Yes, I do. And I noticed that you did a very good video, number 93, about where's Doug the neighbor. And I
yep.
appreciate your concern. And I did send the video concerning Rose's Cantina to prove that I was out there in El Paso.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And that's kind of a cool situation out there in El Paso because back in 1959, that Donovan Highway was a major highway out of town, and Rose's Cantina was there, and Marty Robbins stopped to have a taco, and he decided to write the song right then and there. And of course, in El Paso, it's a legendary song. So.
Yes. That's your theme song.
Yes, it's a theme song. Maybe we can get Kevin, the magnificent computer dude, to post a picture of Marty Robbins with the song El Paso, just a picture. So the song El Paso, just a picture. So, okay.
Okay.
So this is very good to be back and I'm here for our chat, our Wednesday night chat. And this is our 94th podcast chat on Wednesday night, and I have a story at why I went out to El Paso, Texas. Now, I went to high school and college out there in El Paso, and it was a fraternity reunion. So I went out to see my fraternity brothers. Now they're all old. They're all really, really old. You see, they're losing. They're old goats, as I call it. But there's some certain things that happened on the trip that are kind of interesting. And
Whoa.
I don't know where that came from. I don't know. But anyway, first off, I flew out on Southwest. Here in Texas, Southwest is a staple. Okay. Now, flying out, the airplane was not full. And so I have a video of the knee room, the room for the knees for us big guys, because
Mhm.
you remember when I went to Canada and I had that picture of a video of knee room and I was jammed in there. Well, I have a short video of the amount of knee room that is there at Southwest. And God bless Southwest, boy, lots of knee room. There you go. And here's a video to prove it. Now I've done Canada, Air Canada, and now I've
Mhm.
done Southwest. So if you fly, you're going just take a
Well,
video of
I'll
it.
have some trips to add to that later this summer.
Yes, and for the big guys out there in the galaxy, we're helping you. Look, this is what you're
Yeah,
going to get.
yeah.
Okay. So the plane wasn't packed on the way out there, so it was rather comfortable. And I rented a car from Enterprise, and let me tell you, Enterprise is a great, great company. So maybe we can get the logo of Enterprise car rental up
Yes,
there.
I've been using Enterprise. That's the only company I'll use.
Yes, they're
They're
the go-to.
professional. They got their act together.
Yeah.
Never had an issue whatsoever. So I'm there with you. The Enterprise is number one.
Right. And I was a bonehead and I did something to the car because it was a Miata or something, something, something. And the battery ran dry. The red battery ran at the hotel. And uh, I called the 800 number. And I said, "Oh, we'll send someone out here in 2 minutes, 20 minutes. They'll be there." And the kid showed up. Now, here's a whole technology thing that's interesting. You and I are old cable guys. Remember cables from one battery to the other? This kid showed up in a van and he had something that was no bigger than a transistor radio that sat in his palm of his hand and two wires. He connected it to the battery and said, "Turn it on. Let's chat for a couple of minutes." That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well,
Yeah.
last time I rented a car, I did not go through Enterprise, and I remembered why. Because I went through a national brand. I waited in line like an hour,
Right.
and I get up there, and the guy, I said, "Here's my reservation." Blah, blah, blah. And he says, "Oh, we're gonna give you an upgrade, free upgrade, Mr. Kennerk." I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, great, thank you so much." So I go out to get in the car, and it's a van, a cargo van is my upgrade. But I'm tired, I that's that, right? So I'm pulling out, and you got the guard there at the airport parking, right? And you got to show
Yeah.
him the paperwork. So I
Yeah.
showed the paperwork. The guy goes, and cool guy. I said, "Hey, buddy, got a question. Now, be honest with me. Does this driving this van wreck my coolness?" He goes, "Yes, sir, it really does, unfortunately." I said, "Well, thank you for being honest." And off I went in my cargo van.
Well, you could have made a few bucks delivering pizza with it.
Well, it turned out I really did need it because I was at a family reunion, and there's a lot of cargo that goes around there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So Enterprise is on our Camp Kennerk A team.
Yeah,
They're on the A team. Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, so stayed at the Hilton Garden Inn on University in El Paso, Texas. Now,
Hmm.
here's a little story. When I went to college there, that is where our SAE Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity house was. And they tore down the old frat house and built up a Hilton and Garden Inn. So it's a big, big, and that's where we stayed for the uh, fraternity reunion. So maybe we can get a logo for he posted the Hilton Garden Inn and for the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity. About 20 guys show up, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
We've had reunions in San Antonio and Austin and Albuquerque, Tucson, and Phoenix. But since a lot of the guys still live in El Paso, they showed up. And it was just old guys, poker, that sort of stuff, Mexican food.
So you
But
didn't go back. You didn't go back to the fraternity house. Did you go to the fraternity house on campus?
well, the fraternity house was torn down to build this Hilton Inn.
Well, they didn't build another one.
No, they banned there's no more fraternities or sororities on campus anymore because of too much fun.
Ah, ah. So
Think
the
of that
old
great movie Animal House.
yes, yes. That's when the chancellor loses his sense of humor.
He did with us. When they put up the guardhouse, which was outside of our fraternity house, it made a beautiful bonfire.
Hey, what can you say? Idle hands are the work of the devil.
Yes, yes. Anyway, so we called the Hilton Inn Garden Inn our mothership because we all returned to the mothership over the years. You see, now I was in college from 66 through 70. So those of you who are in the galaxy who are quick on the math, you can figure out that I'm 49 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what was really interesting, the moment you get off the plane and you could smell the air, crystal blue skies, desert skies, crystal blue, 70 to 75-degree weather. And it had rained recently. So the smell of the mesquite in the air. And those of you around the galaxy who've never smelled the desert mesquite, it is intoxicating. It's beautiful. There it was.
So it's cheaper than beer, isn't it?
It's cheaper, it's free, and it's lovely. Yes, yes. So when I was there in El Paso to kill time, I was there for Wednesday through Sunday. I drove by my old house that our family lived in and saw how the bushes had grown. Dad's rose bushes are gone, but there's some big evergreen bushes there, but the house looked like it was still in great shape. And I took a video of my house, and then I took a video or a picture of Jimmy's house, and then Mike's house, and Will's house, and Kay's house, and Mike's house, and Peggy's house. These were all friends I went to high school with, and they haven't been back to El Paso. And we lived in the Eastwood neighborhood. Now, Eastwood High School was a built in 1964. The first class was 65, graduating class, and ours was 66. And so we have a video of the new high school. Troopers, Eastwood High School as we know it is long gone. It stretches down that way, and it stretches around the corner that way down to the stadium. Long ago and far away, Eastwood High School. Go Troopers. We have a video of the new high school. So they tore the old school down, and now they have this huge complex of the new high school, stadiums, blah, blah, blah. So Eastwood High School only exists in my memory.
Yep. Well, they tore my high school down as well. So
yeah, it's only there in my memory. Now, one of the things I did, I went to Fort Bliss to go to the Fort Bliss Military Museum.
mm-hmm.
That was absolutely fantastic. Now, here's a little story here. Okay. GPS took me to this particular gate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to and there's a long line. I'm waiting there. I go to the gate. Army officer comes out and he says, "Where's your military ID?" And I said, "Well, I'm just a tourist. I want to get in to see the museum. It's over at the GPS take me here." And he looked at me and he said, "You're not in the military? You don't have military ID?" "No, sir. I'm a tourist. GPS took me to this gate." All of a sudden, this police officer or military police officer with a gun and everything shows up and says, "What's your name? Got any ID?" Blah, blah, blah. I said, "Well, Doug, my name is Doug, the neighbor. Um, want to go to the military museum." So, "Well, do you have a military pass?" "No." "Well, this is the military gate. You got to go all the way around here." And I said, "Well, GPS just took me here." He says, "That's okay. That's all right. Here, give me your driver's license." So he took my driver's license to make sure I didn't escape. So I had to make a big U-turn. He said, "Go here in this way." So I go around to this other gate. Okay, I had a name. I get there, and it's the reception gate for visitors. So, okay, fine. I get in there, and it's a cinder block building, probably half the size of your house, maybe the
Mm-hmm.
size of your garage.
Yeah. About
There's a,
400 square feet.
I'm sorry.
400 square feet.
Yeah, something like that. So I go on in there, and there's 10 people waiting, and there's a couple of people at the gate at the counter, and they're in uniform. And one guy was in wearing a full flak jacket, sidearms, the whole full flak jacket. And I said, "You got a flak jacket on in here at the reception? Why? Aren't you, isn't it uncomfortable?" And he said,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, sometimes when we fill in this application, we have to arrest people."
Oh, wow. Now,
Because the world's now all connected by computer.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Okay. I said, "Oh, okay." So I fill in the forms, and I said, "Now, how do you get to the museum?" He says, "Go through this gate. Go through this, go around here and go this." So I go to that gate. Okay. And there's this female soldier, kind of cute little thing with her helmet down like this. But she had blue braces. And
Good.
I said, "I like your blue braces. I like your blue braces. Look really good." She said,
Mhm.
"Oh, thank you very much." And so I said, "Now, how do I get to the museum? How do I get to Fort Bliss Museum?" He says, "I don't know." She said, "I don't know." TK.
You can't get there from here, Douglas. You can't get here. Yeah.
So she said, just follow the road and see what happens. Okay, So I get in and I go back to the GPS Fort Bliss Museum, and I follow the road, and it takes me around a little bit and a little bit, and I look in the parking lot, and it looks empty. And I go try the door. The GPS took me to the back of the museum, to the back.
Ah.
And then I kind of looked around the corner and I saw some tanks out there. So I went around the front and I've got some videos of a tank. TK, I'm out here in West Texas in El Paso at the Fort Bliss Old Ironsides Museum. Here is a helicopter that's fully loaded with some cannons, machine guns. Okay, oh, blackout windows too. Okay, here's a tank right here. All right, very nice, cute little gun there. All right, packs a big punch. Here's a Goth tank, all black, and here's another tank right here. These little ones like this are kind of good for double parkers. You can just kind of really treat them. A couple of soldiers walking through there. Anyway, out here at the Fort Bliss Old Ironsides Museum on a beautiful, beautiful day in El Paso, Texas.